Hello, this is the Commercial Landscaper Podcast with Robert Clinkenbeard. This show will transform your leadership by developing all areas of your life, business, family, personal and health. Only by fine-tuning yourself will you truly operate at a highly functioning leader. Super excited today to announce that we're just surpassed the 100th edition of the Commercial Landscaper Show. And we're going to see better things from us this year. We're going to be introducing some education, courses in leadership and sales that you could apply and join and try to improve yourself. So hopefully you can join us in some of these courses and reach out if you want to hear some new guests. This is all about bettering you, bettering your business and make you function at a super high level. Thanks again, everyone. Cheers. Hi, this is Robert Clinkenbeard with the Commercial Landscaper Podcast. I'm really excited today to be joined by Ivan. Ivan, really appreciate your time today. I know we met recently down at, I believe, the Elevate event, and you were gracious enough to join me as a guest today on your podcast. I believe this is your first podcast, so thank you for joining us today. Ivan, for our audience, maybe just give us a few minutes about your background. I know you came from Colombia, but I'd love for people just to know a little bit about you.
Thank you very much again for this opportunity. So my name is Ivan Giraldo. I originally from Colombia, Cali, Colombia. I moved to United States in 1985. Started working a little bit on the residential part of the landscape industry. And then I did other things. And I ended up in Texas in 1994 and started working for a commercial landscape company, which really helped me kind of understand the business and part of the landscape industry and how big of an industry this is, and the impact that we have in our communities. So I love it. I started learning the operations part of it, the business part of it, and I'm here now. I'm the president of Clean Scapes. It's a commercial landscape company. We do full service all the way from landscape maintenance to installation, tree work, irrigation installation and maintenance, all the stuff. So I've been here for a while. Married, have two boys, and they're not in the business, but they're trying to figure things out. So I'm glad to be here. Thank you very much for having me.
No problem, Ivan. How many employees do you have right now?
So right now we have 985. Sometimes we go over 1,000. Especially on the peak of the summer, where it's a lot of our busy season. So it's quite a bit of employees, from all backgrounds. Of course, a lot of them are on the front line, what we call actually doing physical work out there with equipment and stuff. And the rest of it is, from admin to managers and stuff.
Oh, that's a big company. My congratulations for that growth.
Thanks.
Now, one of the things that we talked about offline, and especially as companies are growing and scaling up, sometimes there's a tendency to there's be a little bit of a disconnect between your frontline employees, or who are often regarded as the most important in companies. They're out there, they're dealing with the day-to-day issues, they're dealing with clients. What are some of the ways in which you and some of your middle and senior leaders in your company, make sure you're in touch with the frontline workers and what their needs are, what their desires are?
Yes, you are right. It is. We believe that is crucial to have that connectivity and understanding. You know, it is very easy for any company to kind of focus more into the client retention, and which is very important, correct, and the client satisfaction. But what I call sometimes our internal clients, which are our employees, and especially the ones in the front line, we actually changed the term from refer to them as our labor to a frontline employees. That right there, even as minimum as it sounds, is very important for them to consider as a part of the company. In the service industry, we get people from all backgrounds, all the way from graduate from high school, even from college. People they need a second opportunity, and so on and so on. Correct. So sometimes they want to be part of something. They want to be included, and they want to know that they're making a difference, and we make them feel that in a during our meetings, recognizing any above and beyond action that they have. A lot of our clients sometimes made a comment. I love your crew, how organized they work, and they look good on the uniform. They help me. They help one of our tenants, and so on. So we make that publicly in our safety meetings and all that. So they really appreciate that, and without them doing the work out there, um, it's not really company. Especially these days, it's very common to hear about the problem of finding people, finding employees at all levels and in every industry. So the retention of employees has become very important for everybody, especially for the service industry, which that's who we are. So we put a lot of attention, um, let them know that we care for them, we appreciate what they do, and they helping making a difference for Clean Scapes.
No, I agree. I think you touched on a great point there that, often landscape companies will talk about retention, but it's more about client retention because obviously they're still trying to grow. But, I think equally, if not more important, is the employee retention piece. Especially, if you've got a great culture and you've got a good employee retention because of that culture, more often than not, they're going to refer some of their friends and family into the business, which is also a great part of that recruitment piece. But part of the challenge I find with coaching many clients and talking to them is a lot of them struggle with the employee development, the training, the development of employees, almost like coming up with some type of a career path for them, from a frontline employee to eventually becoming a supervisor or senior leader. What are some of the things that you've done within your company just to sort of help with that career development?
Well, Robert, I'm going to share a little bit of my personal story, correct? So when I moved here in 1994, I started as a crew member, and the owner of the company at that point, which is my business partner now, several years later, he had that vision of hey, if you show up every day, if you know make do a good job, if you always trying to improve, I guarantee you can start receiving more responsibilities. So that really stuck with me, and that's something that not only personally I make sure that we do in Clean Scapes, but all the rest of management make sure we offer that. And there has been a lot of crew members. They have going to crew leaders, from crew leaders to production managers, and so on and so on. And different people here in the office as well. Managers, they wanted, they start in production, they start in operations, they want to move to sales, they want to move to technology. So we actually work very hard to make them aware of that. Plus, long time ago, a few years ago, my business partner and I start really understanding the importance of finding and creating the next leaders for Clean Scapes, correct? So I'm not getting any younger, and eventually they won't need me anymore, or just move on, and it needs to be somebody continue with the operations of Clean Scapes. So at all levels. So it's important. That's crucial to also show the new employees they have an opportunity to do what they like, and better position on financially and everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I mean, for you to be able to share your own story, but also share similar stories within your company, I think is a great prime example for some of these new employees coming in. And it'd be a wonderful exercise when you actually start to connect the dots of where you and your company have made an impact on the community. Because not only are you affecting the immediate employees, but you're affecting, I suppose, the lifestyle for a lot of the families that are associated with his employees. So that's tremendous. That's tremendous. That's
Yes,
a great
yes.
story.
Thank you very much. I share it with sometimes, a lot of times, with people that they want to hear it, and they tell me, oh well, I don't know, I don't see myself, going anywhere. I said, you will. It's just you need to put your time, your effort, and all the stuff. But yes, I get a lot of employees in the front line. Some of them, they never were able to finish high school, and they come and tell me, Ivan, I've been able to send my kids to college now, because the life that I was able to receive here, and the compensation and stuff. So we're not only affecting our communities with that, but indirectly also with doing some work, donating our time, and also some money on different groups and nonprofit organizations and stuff. So it's important. It's the impact that you have in others is incredible. So I'm very proud of that.
No, that's great. That's great. I love hearing stories like that. But to switch gears slightly, when you think about some of the people listening on the show here and hear stories like that, and they hear some of the things, even I suppose with your journey through the different stages of your company, there's a lot of things that people forget. They They may be good at the trade, they may be good at horticulture or tree trimming or something, but there's a whole different element of running a business, which is the business operations, it's the financials. What are some of the things that you feel are key with either employees looking either to move through the ranks within a company, or some of those younger operators with new companies that are trying to scale their company?
Yes, so a first kind of understanding the big picture of what we do and what we're trying to accomplish. So if it's a small company, understand what are you doing, identifying to who you are as a company, correct, and the impact that you want to do. But it is a lot of times operators, um, they believe that because they know how to do something, they can make money doing it, and it doesn't work that way all the time. Sometimes you get lucky, but not because I give you a good example. Not because you know how to make a barbecue or whatever in the food industry, you can make a lot of money doing it, correct? Because you need to learn how to market it, how to sell it. Keep in mind, what you're spending on the meat, and so on and so on. So all that. So that's why I always remind everybody that not because you know how to do something, you can make money doing it until you start really thinking the business part of what we do, which is that, what it takes to keep employees working with you when you start growing, what it takes to meet client expectations, and what it takes to keep the client happy while you also trying to make money, which is a fine line. And on sometimes it feels almost impossible, but it's possible. So, understanding the business of what we do on operations and everything else is crucial, but also seeing the big picture of where we're trying to go as a company and the service that we're trying to provide. Um, don't offer too many services at the beginning. Just start with the what you're expert on, what you are efficient on, and then you start adding from there.
No, I love that. And what are some of the, I mean, I assume you've got some type of internal resource that's able to share with your employees, but do you use any type of external resources, whether it be colleges, whether it be other, I suppose, uh, coaches or other organizations where you could tap into some of those resources?
To invite people to work with us, or kind of to teach that to other employees?
To teach that, so either they could teach that to other employees, or they can actually go and self-learn. They could go to a local college course or something, so they can, better themselves.
So we offer incentives for people that want to get licensed or certified on something. We actually um, uh, compensate the full cost of the class, or a big portion of it. If they pass it, we reimburse them. So keep that motivation going, correct? So we are big on and tell them that there is important to keep learning. That's what I keep going to these trade shows, Elevate, correct, where I met you. it's great. I've been going to those trade shows for a long time, and I always take a big something good to apply to the company and with our employees. And I take employees there because they need to see and they need to get inspired to keep learning and be proud of what they're a part of. So trade shows, stay connected with the association, take specific classes for what you're currently working on. Like, you want to stay on arbor, there's different certifications to become a very qualified arborist. And of course, that comes with a higher compensation, the more certification and the more study that you get in certain fields. So we promote that. We incentivize the employees, reimburse them for some of those expenses.
No, that's great. Yeah, I think on that point, I feel either employees or maybe some operators, small operators of business, sometimes the excuse is they're too busy to take these courses and they don't have enough time. But what they quickly find is that some of their other competitors who are out there, they're always trying to sharpen the saw. They're always attending the courses. Usually those companies or owners usually leapfrog them in terms of scaling up their company or something along those lines. So I think it's always important to just keep that that fresh set of ideas, get network with people, always be learning. So I think that's a really important message.
Yeah, definitely, and be open mind, correct? And unfortunately, sometimes people, especially in our industry, say, "Oh, well, I've been doing that for the last 10 years and it works." I say, well, that worked 10 years ago, but maybe you do it a little different now because we have different equipment, we have different tools, expectations are different, So keeping an open mind is always helpful for many things on your personal level and, of course, on your professional level.
No, for sure. Ivan, we're just wrapping up time here. Any, if somebody wants to reach out to you and ask you some questions or learn a little bit more what you're doing with your company, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
So our website, we do have website, www.cleanscapes.com. We have ways to connect with somebody or have a connection. My email is ivan@cleanscapes.net. The email is .net. No, I always welcome people. They have some curiosity about making a difference, and that's what we are doing and we're supposed to do, make a difference. I'm very proud of, happy doing that.
Awesome. Well, Ivan, really appreciate your time today. Thanks for sharing your wisdom. I look forward to talking to you more, and thanks for everything you've done in the industry.
Thank you very much, Robert.
That was the Commercial Landscaper podcast hosted by Robert Clinkenbeard, and I'm the author of the Ironman Mindset for Entrepreneurs. If you want to find out more about the show, you're welcome to go to thecommerciallandscaper.com, or if you want to learn more about courses, education, buying some books, even if you want to just drop a note and suggest a guest, I'd love to hear from you. Again, this is Robert Clinkenbeard, the Commercial Landscaper Podcast. Cheers, everyone.